Get ready to uncover truths and reality of today's politics. Here's your host, Lori Mills.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to an amazing episode of Uncover California. Donald Trump is back in office. On day one, our president did more than we could ever ask for. Promises made, promises kept. Let's talk about a few of these things. He's guaranteed our states protection against the invasion, which has been happening. And if you follow our show, you know that is something we have been talking about for a long time. He's also going to be designating the cartels as terrorist organizations, which they are. I have advocated strongly here to stop the trafficking of children. 300,000 children are missing, and we need to know where they are, and we need to get these gang members out of our country. It's going to happen. What else did he do? No more DEI, guys. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, which I would call reverse racism, is going away in our military. It's going to go away in our government, and I welcome that completely. Let's look at some more. The Department of Government Efficiency, and the Democrats are already suing on this one. Well, this one is fantastic because nobody knows more than the people of America how much our government wastes our money. And it's time for that to come to an end. We're going to see where the laundered funds have been going to, whose pockets, and we're going to end that. Thank you, President Trump. We're also going to protect America against foreign terrorists in our country. And again, that is another border issue. He has tackled this on every level, so we're going to secure America. We're also going to drill, baby, drill. He's unleashing the federal bans on the oil leases on federal land. So Alaska, NWAR, once again, we're going to be drilling and becoming energy dominant, which is going to help everybody from your grocery bills to your gas prices. Fantastic things are happening. Next, we're going to reevaluate where we're sending foreign aid. We spend billions of dollars on foreign aid while our own citizens, like that are in North Carolina, Maui, East Palestine, and the latest California fires, have been ignored and given maybe $700, while billions of dollars go to these foreign wars and foreign countries, and that is going to stop. Thank you, President Trump. We're going to restore the death penalty. You molest a child, you traffic a child, you murder a child, you're going to get the death penalty, as you should. So that's really good. He's also declared our border a national emergency, which could have been done a long time ago before 12 million people entered our country. But President Trump's going to get it done. Now, another thing that he's doing, which I applaud highly, is getting rid of these windmill farms. Whales are washing up dead on the beach. In a usual year, you would usually see 2 whales wash up on the beach. I think last year alone we saw, I think they said it was like 27 whales had washed up on our beaches because these windmills mess with their sonar direction. They get combobulated and they can't find their way, end up beaching themselves and die. So the windmills that are just a waste, with their lithium batteries that are non-biodegradable, that is not energy inefficient, and it's going to go away. So thank you for that. We're going to start putting people over fish in California. And if you've been a victim of the wildfires, you know about this more than anyone. I ran on this issue in 2022. That we needed to do controlled burns again, that we needed to put livestock back in the hills. And unfortunately, the incumbent took that seat, ignored the problem. Topanga went up in flames, and so did the Pacific Palisades. We have been putting the Delta smelt over the people of California. So President Trump is ordering Gavin Newsom to let the water come south into Southern California. You gotta love that. He also wants to redo how our architecture is done. We want beautiful buildings. We don't want the square glass boxes that are everywhere. So he's going to put some integrity back into our building processes. Also, gosh, the list is so long, you guys. Again, more on securing the borders. And also, he is disabling and has already disabled the CBP1 app. What is that? That's where people from all over the world could get into this app, apply for asylum, come into our country, and sit here until they get a hearing, which could be 10, 20 years down the road. So that ends as well. I do want to say to President Trump and Tom Homan right now, it's so important you guys get us out of the global compact of migration and you defund these NGOs that have enabled the trafficking of children. Can't say that enough. So much. I'm going on and on. We are going to put America first in trade policy. That is fantastic. We are for that. America first. We're also going to get through the backlog of security clearances for Trump's administration. We want his appointments confirmed. The people gave a mandate to make sure that this happened. He has declared our southern border a national emergency. Joe, where were you? Why didn't you do that? He's going to hold former government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure of sensitive government information. Check. Done. He's removing us from the World Economic Forum and also the WHO. You guys, I still have the tweet from when COVID broke out in 2020 and the WHO stated that it was not transferable from human to human. They lie. They're backed by the CCP, the WHO. See ya. What else are we going to do? Kids, he's going to try to save TikTok for you. The government here is going to take that over and partner with China. Stop selling our information so you can make your TikTok videos and have an income. So thank you, President Trump, for that. Now, a biggie for me is, and again, I could go on and on with this list, you guys. It's huge. Go on to the whitehousegovernment.org and look at it. But today, you guys know that two of my favorite topics on this show is defending our January 6th hostages and also the border. Those are my biggies, and the trafficking of children. Well, President Trump pardoned the J6ers, and I am so blessed to know this. And today on our show is one of my favorite friends who's been on the show several times, and I am happy to say, case dismissed. Siaka Massaquoi, welcome to Uncover California.
Hey, Lori, how you doing? Man, I'm speechless. What a day. What a day.
Yeah, was that not something? Now, for those of you that don't know, I do want you to go back and watch Siaka's episodes on the show. He was unjustly persecuted. He has lived through hell the last 4 years, and he never took the poisonous plea deal, but he fought his case. He fought his case, and his trial was supposed to start today. But thanks to President Trump's pardons, Siaka's here with us today. Siaka, tell us everything that happened. Like, you're getting ready to go to court. Tell us the story and how the news broke to you.
Well, first off, thank you for having me on again, and thank you for not just my story, but so many other J6 stories that you are. You've been very bullish on making sure the people see. For me, I was a lot like a lot of J6ers from President Trump's promise. We were waiting for something from the first speech. That, we didn't hear anything there, and then he made a statement later on in another speech, and then you're still waiting for the official, and he's signing documents, and it's not that initially, and you're like, come on, like, what's going on? For me, I actually had to MC the Oregon Republican Party's inaugural ball last night, so it was kind of this weird, bittersweet moment of we're celebrating that he was just inaugurated, celebrating all the work that everyone's done to help get him and many other Republicans elected in this last election. But I'm kind of sitting there, it's both sides, right? And especially trying to entertain the crowd and being on and all that good stuff. And I was able to tell my story a little bit there, and people were able to help out in case we had to continue with the trial. Legal fees still stacking up and all that stuff, so we're still moving forward in that direction. But it was probably about halfway through the night. I get a text. I forget who actually sent it to me, because I was getting so many different text messages about like, hey, is it over? What's going on? I heard he's going to do it. This is what it is. People on J6 groups, everyone's like sharing these different information. And then I get an official link from the White House itself basically saying that J6ers and those involved have been pardoned by the administration. And I'm reading in there's a list of few names, but then it goes down further for kind of more for my case and many others, that any pending cases will be with prejudice completely canceled, which would include mine. And that like it just, it's just full of so many different emotions, Lori. Like, you're happy, you want to let go. It kind of feels like you've been, at least for me, been holding on, trying to put on a good face to a certain extent, stay strong for myself, for my wife, for my son, for other people who who are going through it worse, who are still locked up. And then at the same time, all the emotions are coming through, and you just kind of want to sit down and let go and breathe for the first time in about 4 years. And there was a band performing, and my wife Charlotte was actually in line to get me more food, because I was in the back. And then I come out, I'm looking around the whole place for her, and I'm walking around, where is she? I find her, and all I could do was I ran over to her and I showed her on the phone the official decree, if you will, and we just held each other in this food line for like what felt like 10 minutes, probably more like 10-15 seconds. And I was able to let it go a little bit. And that moment, it kind of felt like we were alone there, and we're able just to be with each other, because a lot of people don't know, I met Charlotte after I was raided in 21 in June. And as we were starting to get more serious, I remember I sat her down and go, hey, look, this thing is real. I don't know what the outcome's going to be. I do know that I'm on this list in this way. This is before I was arrested, of course, in 2023. And I asked her, I go, look, if you want to leave, you can, because you didn't sign up for this. I did. And she said, no, I'm going to be there. And so all of that, all of that emotion was just there together.
And she's such an amazing woman. The fact that you guys, she walked through this darkness with you the entire time, and she never faltered. And then she gave you an amazing gift of baby Xavier. And now you have another one on the way?
Yes, we do. We're 4 months in, and we have a new baby. It's going to be here in June, late June, early July. And she is just a rock. She's there. She's like, this is what it is. We're gonna get through this. And I'm excited to be in a relationship with her without this dark cloud hanging over us. And it really broke my heart and really disgusted me when the way they came and arrested me, because they separated us, at the airport when she was 7 months pregnant with Xavier. And only by God's grace, having people there that we trusted, was she not alone when, we were separated and not spinning out on her own. We had friends come and they stayed over, and they made sure they were there with her the entire time until I got back. You were there.
Yeah, we were all at the arraignment. Yep. We were not letting Siaka stand alone with his Jesus Save shirt on.
Yeah. And you guys, and you guys didn't, actually I talked to Tish today, because I wanted to thank her personally for for her efforts to just literally help me, her running through the courthouse and getting
Yep.
to the garage and finding that DA so that I could go home that night, that Friday night. But after her and I hugged, then you had some people come up because they knew I talked about it and like, what's going on? I told them. They wanted to shake my hand and taking pictures. And I went up, there was a band playing, and before they played the next song, I was like, hold on, I got to let people know. And, we're able to get up there and tell them J6ers are free. And we all just chanted freedom. And we partied out, man. Ended up becoming not just a party for the election of President Trump and hoping our country gets back on track, but then became a real party for the freedom of Americans that were hostages, as Trump has said himself, over these last
Right.
4 years, whether you're hostage behind bars, hostage, in the system, when every time you want to travel, you're being harassed, your name's being run through the mud, you're on, Secretary of State's censorship lists, all these different things, all these different lists that you
Yeah.
had no idea about, that now you're vindicated. You're
Right.
vindicated for this. And I honestly think that this is just the beginning when it comes down to the truth of that day and the truth
Yeah.
of the overreach of the Biden administration. We're going to see that these people committed crimes. Is the reason why Joe preemptively
Pardoned them.
pardoned so many people.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
let's
because
back.
it was wrong.
Yeah, let's back this up for a second because I think it's important for people that haven't seen your story on the show. Siaka didn't see any signs, no trespassing, peacefully walked,
No.
was filming, and stood in the Capitol threshold for 71 seconds, was told by an officer to leave. He said, big crowd behind him, no problem, we'll work it out. Turns around and tells everybody to leave. That was his crime, and he was facing years in a federal penitentiary unjustly. And the J6 committee, on top of that, with Joe Biden and what Joe has done, pardoning Liz Cheney, Benny Johnson, Adam Schiff. He didn't pardon Nancy. The bottom line is these people used a Hollywood producer, creative edited clips to persecute American citizens. And I praise God that you are free and many others are free. I know we had Zuni Tario on last week. Enrique Tario is her son. He's on his way home. There's a lot of people on their way home. Now, I have heard, Siaka, and you tell me if you've heard anything about this. I'm hearing that certain jails still aren't releasing people, and there's certain corrupt left-wing judges that are trying to recharge J6 defendants with other crimes not related to J6 so they can keep them in prison. Have you heard anything about this?
Yes, actually, I heard somebody actually commented on my ex post and said how when they were raided, they had a legal gun and legal marijuana in their house, and so then the judge wanted to put on top of their J6 thing, stuff that they were being accused of, the same gun charge that Hunter Biden was just pardoned for by Joe Biden. I've also heard, a good friend of mine, Don Powers, who put on the Oregon Republican inaugural ball last night. He's gone to the jails there here in DC because I'm still here in DC till tomorrow, trying to get some people out and see what's going on. And in that DC gulag, they're actually not releasing people.
Yeah.
So there's a big fight now going on to get the people out based on, we got to really understand what's going on is that the president of the United States, whether it was Joe Biden, now Trump, when they make a statement, when they make an executive order like this, they're the executive branch. They're supposed to be followed.
And it's supposed to be immediate. It's supposed to be immediate.
They were supposed to be at midnight last night. There were supposed to be people released who have been in jail for 3 years, some without any type of due process.
Right.
And now we're sitting there seeing these judges and the people running the jails denying that. There to me, there's no other choice but to go in there heavy-handed, lock those people up, go in there with all the force
National
that's
Guard,
necessary.
the U.S. Marshals.
Because what people have to understand, and I hope they get, is that they turned apparatuses and they turned tactics that are used in other countries, like my mother's home country of Liberia, where groups like the CIA have created chaos in there. They turned that on their own people. They turned
Right.
that on American citizens. And so to be able to lock us up, to be able to push to lock us up, I wasn't even supposed to be here. The only reason I'm here was because my court date was supposed to be today, and the judge
Right.
would not be fair enough to understand. Trump said on the campaign trail. Trump said after he was elected. Trump said at the inauguration, "Hey, we're going to release these guys." And I'm told by my judge, "Well, nothing's official yet, so we'll see you on the 21st." And at this point now, because it didn't start, the process didn't go through. We did a jury, so we didn't even get into that. I think it helped to get to a point of just her having to be like, all right, it's dismissed. But how many other judges, as we just pointed out, how many other judges were like, nope, we're not going to let you out. You know what? We're going to find something else to put you away for. We are now seeing the corruption of the judicial party, and we have been seeing for 4 years now. And this belief that federal judges are above the law and they have a lifetime immunity, which is false, by the way. It's a cultural thing that we've been telling each other, like the Supreme Court are appointed for life. No, they're not. These federal judges are only in place if they continue in good standing. And now Congress and the Senate, they have to do their jobs. They have to
Right.
sit there and start to review these judges and their decisions and how they're moving as if they are kings. They're judge, jury, and its executioners. We have to get rid of them. There's a
Yes.
little part of me that is feels like there was a plan. There's God's plan in there by having him not win in 2020, because we would not have seen all these terrible judges, terrible agents, terrible politicians that need to be removed from office because they were willing to attack American citizens for simply expressing their freedom of speech and disagreeing with the position that they wanted to take. This is not a monarchy.
Yeah. And let's
This is
talk
a this
about
is
that. Let's talk about that. If Trump would have taken office, because I still believe he won in 2020. I'm never going to
Yes,
back
I do
down
as well.
off that. If we didn't go through the 4 years of Joe Biden, Mike Pence would be vice president.
Right.
Mike Pence. We wouldn't have seen the corruption of our Department of Justice. We wouldn't have seen the corrupt judges. We wouldn't have seen the lawfare even thrown at President Trump by Alvin Bragg. And, these judges like Merchan, whose daughter made $7 million off of the Trump case. The
Right.
level of corruption that we have seen in the Department of Justice is unfathomable. And I really hope that Pam Bondi gets confirmed soon, because she's already promised they're going through every one of these cases. And
Oh
they
yeah.
hold those accountable that have weaponized their position in government, and they need to go to jail. They need to pay
Yes.
the price. And I honestly think they should pay restitution to people like you that have had to pay $200,000 to $300,000 for attorneys to try to stay out of jail, or the families that took the poisonous plea deal because they didn't have $200,000 or $300,000 to fight the case, and it was like, take the plea deal, go to jail for 4 months, and say I'm guilty, or face 22 years.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
not a choice. That's not a
No.
choice. So what are your
Well,
thoughts on that?
Well, to your point about restitution, the only reason why I was able to fight was because of the kindness of strangers and
Yep.
many people that I know. But we were able to raise money. So many of the 1,500, they weren't able. They didn't have a platform that I had. They all they had was what they had from their home for equity, what they had for in their bank account, and they tried to fight initially, and then you get squeezed out, and then you have to take this plea deal. And then the judges come down on grandmas with cancer and gives them 4 to 6 months in federal prison for
Like
standing
Cindy
there
Young.
and asking questions. Yeah,
I
exactly.
believe Cindy
And
Young
so,
just went to jail, and I really hope that she's out already, because she was here a month ago getting ready to go into prison. 68-year-old grandmother who was led around the Capitol by a police officer,
right.
and it's insane that they put that woman in jail and destroyed her life.
Well, and when we're going back to the idea of restitution. I've spoken to people who've sold their parents' farms, people who have lost their homes, people who are homeless now because not only did they lose their homes, They were beaten by Capitol Police, head injuries, they'll never be the same. And then they tried to fight, but because they have the head injuries and have to go to work, their job then, fire them because they're J6er, and then they lose their home because they can't pay their rent. And now they're homeless with a head injury, and the government going, well, sign this so that you don't go to jail. And then they still get charged anyway and still have to, spend some time inside. These people need to be taken care of. These
Yeah.
people need restitution from what happened, for what the Biden regime did to them, did to us.
Yeah.
There's so
And the
many people.
J6
John
committee.
Strand was I was going to say John Strand was in solitary confinement for 4 months. For what?
He
For
stood on
standing
the
there wanting to
grass.
protect a woman? Like, these people are always talking about protect women. That's literally what he did. And he got 4 months of solitary confinement of this year sentence for that. This is the level. This is kangaroo court stuff. This is third world country stuff. And we just saw it for the last 4 years, but I think we had to see it as Americans so that it could break the spell that the Democrats have had on people to believe they're for the working class and for the average person. They could care less. How are they multimillionaires on public servants' salaries?
Right.
Explain all that. How are their returns on stocks higher than anyone else? Like, people who even work in in Wall Street don't get those type of returns. How are they able to make all this money? How are places like California with the highest taxes can't even prepare for a fire season that happens every year, but Gavin Newsom can buy a $9.1 million home
Exactly.
while people are still paying taxes on a train that isn't even around? Like, we have to, we as the people have to realize our representatives are on us. And the niceties need to go away. If your plumber doesn't work properly, if your mechanic can't fix your car, you don't keep hiring them because you like them, because your house is going to fall apart. Your car is going to put you at risk of death. You fire them and you get somebody better who can do the job. And I hope right now people will see that getting the job done is what matters, not liking people. It's nice if you like someone, but you don't have to like them. Make sure they're competent to do their job. They don't fit some checkbox of race, sex, or who they want to have sex with in order for you to go, okay, now I'm going to like them, or now I'm going to hire them to do the job. That's ridiculous.
Well, DEI is out according to the new executive orders, so bye-bye.
Yes.
With the plea deal, or the pardon that Biden just gave this J6 committee, the one thing about that is they can no longer plead the fifth. And so I would really like to see them pulled before Congress or pulled before a court. I don't know. I see it all as an act of treason, from the border to the J6 thing. And I didn't know that treason was a pardonable offense, especially with Adam Schiff, who started the Russiagate nonsense. And I think that if we don't see accountability, and I mean severe accountability, for all these deep state, and I call it that, agents that have sabotaged our country for political gain and sabotaged the American people just like you, if they don't pay a heavy, heavy price for what has been done, they're going to do it again.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to do it again. I mean, these guys are doubling down on their rhetoric, so why would we not believe they do it again if they get the throes of power? Like, they have sat there and they're starting to call fascistic-like behavior and how dare he do this and how dare he do that. No.
How dare
as far
they?
as I've heard from, I saw a tweet from Kash Patel, which stated treason is not a pardonable offense. You can't pardon treason. So they can pardon them. And I think there are some questions, fact check me on this, world, but I actually think that a blanket pardon for crimes that haven't even been stated yet, I don't know if that's possible.
Right.
That's like, because imagine this. Imagine that you say that somebody's pardoned for a crimes, through this time period, and one of the crimes is murder. But yet we haven't gotten there yet. And then we get to, he's like, okay, this person stabbed that person 27 times. Okay.
Well, he has a blanket pardon. He has a blanket pardon. You can't arrest him. He can kill whoever he wants to.
So I'm curious to see, like, from a legal standpoint, are these blanket pardons even legal?
Right.
I think they're going to be challenged, and we will probably be surprised. Like, why is Fauci pardoned if he's science. Why was he pardoned?
Yeah.
Tell me that.
Well,
If the J6 committee
so
was
many
so
people
great, why
dead.
they pardoned?
So many people dead. And if Fauci didn't do anything wrong, why did you pardon him? Because
It
we
doesn't
all
make
know
sense.
that he created this virus to take down an American president.
With
Just
our money.
absolutely with our money. And they're
With our
still
money.
doing everything with our money, the borders with our money. And that's something that I've been crying for President Trump. I hope he doesn't overlook it with the border situation. He has got to pull us out of the global compact of migration with the UN. If he doesn't do that, it's going to continue. The NGOs need to be defunded. Catholic charities down there, Jewish Family Services, Southwest Key. All of these NGOs need to be defunded or the invasion will continue and the abuse on people will continue.
Well, one great thing that I know he signed was an executive order deeming the border
National emergency.
So now he can put troops down there. Now we can sit there and finish completing the wall so that we don't have migrants from all over the world coming in from the south. Put pressure. The fact that he even designated the cartels as international terrorists, that changes the game. And we know this because once you're labeled a terrorist, the due process that most Americans have, that changes. Just like they did for us J6ers. They tried to label us domestic terrorists so then they can move on us differently than any average person and sit there and throw the book at us, move swiftly. And like we saw, like I say, so many people put in prison, still without a day in court. Like, no, this is something else. And I think that he is just beginning to make these moves in order to respond to this I personally think globalist attack on America.
Right.
And so I'm excited to see, and this is just, look, we just saw that was just day one.
Yeah, we're on day 2 of the presidency. And honestly, he was at galas all day yesterday and got more done than Biden did in 4 years. It was pretty incredible to watch. Yeah.
In 4 years.
Yeah.
And if anyone get a chance, they should check out Steve Deace's post about what this whole thing is and what it looks like. It was really amazing. And he pointed out that Trump's executive orders was like a D-Day move, if you will.
Yes.
It was a move because we were attacked starting in 2014, 2015 with all this DEI, all this racial relation stuff that Obama brought in. And then they continued by spying on Trump's campaign in 2016 and the Russia collusion that was completely false and treasonous itself. That you have, 5-star generals refusing to follow Trump's orders.
And going behind his back and communicating with China, Millie, who got pardoned.
Yeah, exactly. So why is he communicating behind their back and you're pardoning this guy without even saying that's what he did?
Right.
That's the thing.
Right.
So it was like he just pardoned to be pardoned. What if he raped and killed a little girl? Like, Is that the pardon? I mean, we can speculate at this point. You give out blanket pardons for these people who we know are degenerates. We can just start making stuff up.
Exactly.
Like, you pardon them because they have sex crimes.
Yeah.
We know how the Democrats hate any type of sex thing, as they go after Pete Hegseth for his past, drunken behavior that he has repented for openly in public forum and in private.
Well, the Department of Defense, the Department of Defense is terrified of what Pete Hegseth will find. Siaka, we're out of time. I hate to say it. I love you so much. Tell everybody, you guys recognize Siaka is still facing a lot of legal bills. If you can help him out, please do. Siaka, give everybody your website and where to follow you on X.
So if you guys want to help out, we still have our final bill was $22,000. You can go to defendsiaka.com. That's defend, SIAKA.com. And if you want to follow me on X, it's _Siaka Massaquoi. And on Instagram, it's Siaka _Massaquoi. But yes, please share out those links. Reach out, talk. We need anybody that needs some help. Please let me know. Maybe I can connect them to Lori and others. And we got to keep fighting. The fight has just begun.
Yes, it has.
But we have the backing on our side, and we're not alone anymore. So
love you so much, brother. Love you so much. Okay, give Shar and baby Zay Zay a hug.
Will do.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. After our commercial break, we're going to bring in Christy Hutchinson. We're going to talk a little bit about the fires here in Southern California and a remedy she has for those that were caught in the fire, because the smoke, when you have plastics and everything burn, there's a lot of bad stuff in the air. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the MAGA Mall. We have the largest selection of the finest quality MAGA caps and Trump caps that are made. We have over 250 hats and 1,000 different products in 28 product categories. All the caps are made from premium cotton twill. Everything on them is embroidered. As a matter of fact, in the last election cycle, we donated over 45,000 caps to Trump-endorsed candidates and conservative causes all the way across America. And you can buy any of our products by going to our website. It's at themagamall.com, like on the sign over here, and use promo code CALI, and that's for Uncover California. That will get you a 10% discount off of all of our products and also help this worthy cause. And remember, it's always a MAGA day at the MAGA Mall.
Okay, everybody, we are back. By the way, I don't know if I pointed this out to you. The MAGA Mall, our sponsor, has the new Trump official inauguration hats. So you can get that at themagamall.com. Remember to use promo code Kelly for 10% off. Our next guest had a little bit of an emergency and she can't make it with us today. So, you know what, you guys? We're going to have a short show. That's all there is to it. So go enjoy our victory celebrating President Donald J. Trump. And let's keep watching. I just heard Kash Patel. His hearing's going to be on the 29th. Mark your calendars. Confirm all of President Trump's appointments. And don't listen to the Democrats. They're just a little bit upset they didn't get their way in their overthrow of the government, and their arrest of all American citizens didn't succeed. Fight, fight, fight. We're never backing down. See you next week.